This is a really important video because this is giving you guys some feedback on quiz 3.2. A lot of you guys were way too lean in your responses in C and D. You thought you could get the point in one or two sentences, and although that is possible for a lot of you guys, you underwrote that thing. It's like you're writing it to an AP government teacher that can kind of fill in the blanks you have in your writing. And I've told you guys you don't want to write that way. You want to write this like you're teaching it to somebody, all right, that has no idea about this stuff. I consider this particular FRQ exemplary. This is probably one of 5 I considered exemplary. However, what I like about this person is this is doable in 15 minutes. Some people, they write paragraphs on paragraphs, and it's just simply not going to be doable in a 15-minute time span. Now, this is not the concept application question. This would be more qualitative analysis where they've given you some data. However, I think this is good for that whole explain piece because a lot of you guys, you're just too lean in your explanations. All right, A says, using the table, identify the president who appointed the highest percentage of women to the federal district courts. Okay, we see female here. Largest number, 28.5%. All right, this person has restated the prompt and they brought the data into it. That's another thing. Some of you guys, you're still not bringing the numbers into it. You got to do that. The president who appointed the highest percentage of women to the federal district courts was President Clinton, who appointed roughly 28.5% of women. Perfect. All right. You don't need more than a sentence there. It's an identify question. If you guys are writing paragraphs on an identify question, you're going to run out of time. Don't do that. Okay. You can most likely get it in 1 or 2 sentences. This person here has done it in 1 sentence. B, describe a similarity or difference between Republican and Democratic president nominees to federal district courts with regard to the political party of the people they nominate. All right. A similarity between Republican and Democratic presidents' nominees to federal district courts is that the nominees are within the same political party as the presidents who nominate them almost all the time, specifically between 80 to 95% of the time. This makes it so that nominees share the same values and ideals as their president and can thus follow a similar agenda. That is perfect. That is a great response. All right, it's looking like that's 2 sentences. There you go. So for a describe question, you're probably looking like you need to have 2 sentences. This is an excellent response to that. Okay, explain how that similarity or difference affects the judicial decisions of the federal district courts with regards to civil liberties. Let's see what they put. That similarity mentioned in Part B, the fact that presidents choose nominees from their same party, right, affects the judicial decisions of the federal district courts with regard to civil liberties because Democrats want to see the expansion of civil liberties and follow an agenda to do just that, while Republicans are more traditional and strict about law and order and don't usually follow an agenda that expands civil liberties. Since Democratic and Republican presidents both nominate federal district judges that are within their own party and that share those similar values, Democratic federal judge nominees are more likely to consider expanding civil liberties when hearing cases on that topic, while the Republican nominees will do the opposite. If accepted to their position, nominees can influence the court's decisions and directions depending on the president who nominated them and what party that president nominee belonged to. That is perfect. They're teaching it. I mean, it's almost textbook how they're writing it. It's like if I don't know anything about this concept, I'm learning from it. A lot of you guys, you wrote 1 sentence on this, and it was super vague in general. And I get that you're doing this digital learning at home, and it's not an AP exam, but that kind of worries me because when you come in, you got to play like you got to practice like you're going to play. When this thing hits May 11th, you've got to. You've got to expand on this. You got to overwrite. You got to write like you're teaching. D says, explain how the number and party affiliation of federal district court appointees affect presidential influence and power. For the explain questions, most of you guys got D. If you missed one of the explain questions, most likely it was C. You just didn't write enough. See the comments I put in Canvas. D, this is their response. The number and party affiliation of federal district court appointees affects a president's influence and power because when appointed, judges serve life terms. unlike presidents, and can thus further a president's influence. Sorry, that's my daughter coughing. Since presidents usually nominate federal judges within their own party and who share similar values, judges can use their life terms to continue a president's agenda and legacy long past their presidential terms, depending on how much that appointee's decisions on cases affect the country. The greater number of appointees to the federal district court a president makes, the more chances that president has of bigger and longer lasting legacy. Excellent response. Again, it teaches it. It gets it all out there. I've learned from it. A lot of you guys are like, the president chooses who all the federal district judges are. That's not true. If there's an opening, and there's more likely to be more openings at the federal district level, the reason being is there's more federal district judges than at any level in the federal courts. Right? Your federal courts are the Supreme. There's 9, appellate. You're getting in I think there's something like 97, and then in the district level, there's hundreds. It's got to be that there's an opening. So somebody has retired or died or been impeached. Now there's an opening. Now the president can make that appointment. They're more likely going to do that at the district level more than anything. And now when they do that, that's their legacy is going to play out as long as those judges hold those office. And the fact that they serve life terms, right, means they have an opportunity to continue that president's agenda, that president's political agenda long after the president leaves office. All right, you're going to do corrections on this. They're going to be due Wednesday. If you don't need to rewrite the ones you got correct. I'm telling you which ones you didn't get correct. Do not just simply cut and paste this person's response. That's not what I want you to do. What I want you to do is I want you to read this response, read this exemplary, rewrite your response so that it will get the point, okay?